At the start of any week, I set out with simple goals to make pictures, make prints, and have a great time. But in the world of professional landscape photography, things don't always go according to plan. It's February, it's cold, and it's windy, and all the elements are in place for a roller coaster week. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a domain name, a website, or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Now today I've come to a place that you probably will not have heard of before. I'm excited about it, but it is very grey and very windy. So I've decided to challenge myself trying to make some good images in an unfamiliar location in bad weather. Now in today's video, I'm also using a new vlog camera and I've had to change my setup a little bit. I'm unfamiliar with it. It does have a gimbal, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit smoother. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the audio, because I'm having to use a different microphone setup. I'm not sure if I'm getting clean audio. So you may never see this video. Well, if you're seeing this, then it's panned out all right. Right, so I'm set up for my first shot. I really hope the audio sounds okay. I'm facing straight into the wind at the moment. It's extremely difficult on the side of this hill, but that there is my view, and I think it's a fantastic one. The light is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be today, and that's working pretty well for me. But the composition that I'm working on here doesn't include any of the sky, and it's all about that S-curve, that line going down the center of the frame, just guiding you around to the trees, the intersecting lines of the hills, and I just think it looks really, really nice. I'm using the 70-200 lens to sort of zoom in, pick that detail out of that line, and then eliminate the area around it. So I want to eliminate some of the trees to the left of the frame, and then I want to take the sky out completely. And that's mainly because this landscape was carved out, I think, by glaciers. So it's a really interesting shape and forms of the hills, but then you get that really harsh horizon line, which just for me spoils the whole thing. So I'm bringing my composition down, bringing my perspective down to eliminate the sky. It's really difficult to conditions though. It's really windy and it's getting pretty cold as well. So that is producing some technical challenges with the camera, mainly in the form of having this long lens on and the wind moving the lens about. So I've had to up the ISO to 400. I've gone down to an aperture, oh my God. This is not good. Oh God, oh. I'm at an aperture of f8 and then 1/80th of a second, and that's ISO 400. So that's giving me the shutter speed I need. I'm then focusing on the trees down in the valley there, and with a 2-second timer, just getting that shot off. Oh God, it's so unpleasant. It's like 20 miles an hour constant and gusting up to 40 or 50 miles an hour. I'll show you that image now and see what you think. It's just horrendous though. And my creativity is now just dead. Absolutely dead. I've got one image. It may be okay, I don't know, but I don't really care at this point. One of my most hated things about landscape photography is photographing when it's windy. And today is just horrendous, especially when I'm trying to film. I'm using new audio devices and trying to make a video. Yeah, it's I'm not having fun, if I'm honest. I'm not having fun at all. So I've decided to call it a day, because this is the reality of landscape photography. Just going out, trying to make something, but then it ending up as a total bust, which is what it feels like today. So yeah, let's mark this one down as a good effort. Put the energy back into another day. Oh my God. Right, it's Tuesday and I I wasn't particularly happy with the audio on the filming I did yesterday, so I put all my stuff on and I'm just trying it with the microphone in a slightly different location. I really dislike having a lavalier microphone on show, but today is not been that exciting. It's a sort of typical day in the office, doing emails, trying to drum up business. I've been writing a chapter of my upcoming book, Perspectives. I think it's going to have 10 chapters. The last book had 9. 10 chapters, well over 100 images now. So I really think it's going to be a better book than the first one. So yeah, I'll be announcing that for pre-order pretty soon. What I've also been doing today is finalising plans for the tours, the new tours that I'm going to be running. And I mentioned before that I was going to be doing it with a partner in crime, and I'm really pleased to say that that's Verity Milligan. We're going to start with a couple of one-day workshops, and then there's going to be a Lake District tour, 3 nights, 4 days coming up later this year. And that will be going out very, very soon because we've almost finalised the plans. So that's the sort of thing I've been doing today and messing around with vlog cameras and stuff like that because the camera's new. But things are looking pretty good for tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be getting an early night, getting up well before sunrise and travelling to hit what I think is going to be a very stunning sunrise. So I will save you from the rest of my day in the office and we'll go to Wednesday, day 3. Hello and good morning. Right, it's Wednesday. I have made it out of bed and welcomed to a pretty beautiful morning. The conditions are not as good as I thought they were going to be, but there's a beautiful feel to it. We're in blue hour at the moment. The sun hasn't come up yet and there's a little hint of colour on the horizon. I'm feeling quite positive. I think there's going to be at least one little shot to get, but it's such a beautiful morning. Not a breath of wind because I'm protected from that wind by the cliffs there. Yeah, it's just lovely. Look at all these beautiful rock pools. There's a slightly bigger pool, patch of wet sand over there, which I really like. And that's sort of then shooting towards the colour in the sky as well. It's really cold. It's about -1. So I'm grateful that there isn't any wind. Right, so I am set up for my first shot and it's just looking beautiful. There is a small gap in those clouds for the sun to get through, which is really rather exciting, I think. I'm hoping as the sun rises, the light's gonna hit these clouds even more, but at the moment it's off in the distance, so I'm zooming in to fill the frame with that colour, which I think is going to work really well. I've then got this really big pool right in front of me, which is just beautiful and reflecting the light from below, reflecting the colour. Nothing complicated at all. I'm just playing around with where I put the horizon as well. I'm not using the rule of thirds. The horizon's actually going to be somewhere in the middle of the frame, which you may not always do, but I think for this composition, it's just working well. F11 at the moment, 1/25 of a second, ISO 100 with the current light conditions. So I'm just going to frame up again, and yeah, that's just looking lovely. The rocks look nice. 2-second timer, and fire it away. Let's pan around, zoom out a bit. Oh yes, that is it. Get some of the cliff in as well. Oh, this is going to be lovely. The reflection of that water, the pool in front of me, is just beautiful. So now I have some of the cliff in it. Oh, the sun's coming up. It's exciting. I have the cliff off to the right-hand side. I have the sun coming up in the left-hand side. Ooh, that's nice. I'm going to raise it up a little bit though and zoom in a tiny touch. I'm liking the horizon kind of on the golden ratio actually at the moment because, oh, the sun's coming up. It's coming up. Oh, that is just lovely. I'm not talking through it very well, but the sun is rising now. The blue compared to the yellow and the pinks is just fantastic. You get those mornings when it's just so exciting.
Now, as you know, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, and in my opinion, Squarespace is just the best place for photographers to build their own website. I wish I'd known about Squarespace when I first built a website, but I have now been using them for years, and that's because they just make the whole experience so easy. To build a website, you just go to squarespace.com and type in what you do, and then they'll provide you with a selection of templates to suit you. And then you just choose one of them, put some of your images and a few of your words on there, and before you know it, you will have a unique and beautiful looking website. If you can drag boxes around on windows, then you can build a Squarespace website. What I also love about it is that it just makes your images look great. You can present them in a gallery, big, bold, and beautiful. It's just a much better experience than doing it on social media. Another great thing about Squarespace is it will then grow with you. So if you want to start selling things, you can flip your website into an online store just as easily and start selling books and prints and calendars and anything else that you fancy selling. Digital products as well, like presets. It's just so easy to do. They have award-winning customer service and also now have a members section. So if you want to create a subscription website where you can get people to come back to your website time and time again, you can do that with a members section. I've used Squarespace for many, many years now and have never looked back. So go to squarespace.com to start your free trial today. And then if you like what you've created, use the offer code FIRSTMAN. Tell them that I sent you there, because then we all win, don't we? And you will get 10% off your first purchase. I wanted to show you some drone footage to set the mood, but forgot to put a memory card in the drone. And that's the nature of it, I suppose, of getting up early. There's always a little mistake you make. Very rarely do I forget memory cards. I haven't even brought my memory card holder to put one in. But I want to get a second shot. As the sun's come up, it's sort of lit up the sky a little bit. There's hints of yellow. The tide is coming in pretty quickly now, and there's a good chance I'm going to get cut off. So I want to be quick here. I've got the filter on this time because I'm seeing a lot more of the water. I want to take some of the contrast out of that, some of the detail out of that, and then smooth that out a bit to give it that kind of more ethereal, beautiful feel. I don't want the shutter speed to be too fast though, because I don't want any movement in the clouds. They look great as it is, so I'm going for a 2-second exposure. And to get that, I'm at ISO 200 and f8. So it actually feels a bit more like Blue Hour shooting that way. Got the lovely color in the sky over there. So this is gonna be a slightly more blue image, I think. Certainly looks like that on the screen. I think it's still gonna be a nice one. I'm glad I'm here, glad I've taken it. I often consider whether I prefer sunrise or sunset photography. One of the things I really love about sunset photography is this: you can go out for a hike and the story builds throughout the day. So when you capture that sunset image right at the end of the day, it's full of meaning. Sunrise, on the other hand, doesn't have that. You kind of turn up, almost have to know a composition or get lucky with a composition, and then capture it. And then it's done. And that's exactly what it's been like this morning. But I think there's something about sunrise images, something about sunrise generally, that just has a fresh feel. It's the kind of time that a lot of people don't see because they're still in bed. There's often mist and things in the air that you just don't get at sunset as well. I really love a sunrise image for that. I love both of them. They're different experiences though. But I just feel so much better than I did on Monday on that shoot, which was really pretty unpleasant and difficult. Today's just a complete another story, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Right, day 4, and it's Thursday, and it's snowing, which is good, but it's that kind of really annoying kind of wet snow that isn't settling all that well. Even so, I would love to be out, but unfortunately I have some childcare commitments today, so I can't go out. Plus, I need to edit the images I took yesterday so I can put them in this video to go out on Saturday. But yeah, it's been a tough week. It's mostly been thrown off with having to work with new gear and figure out a new workflow. I used to love tinkering with tech and gear and stuff, but these days I just need it to work. And when your workflow gets thrown off, it makes everything so difficult. But it's still gone well. I've got some images that I'm really, really happy with, actually, including that one from the first day, something a little bit different. I don't know if you noticed, but what I did to edit that one is soften the bank, the hill, quite a lot, so it's almost got that sort of soft mystical effect, which was in the image anyway because the wind was blowing so much. There's a little bit of movement captured, but I softened that off even more. And yeah, I just think that looks really, really nice. So the week's not finished yet though. I'm hoping this snow will stick around until tomorrow so I can get out in it. Otherwise, I will have a day of printing. Seeing this photograph making its way into the physical world is a reminder that our experience of doing landscape photography is not always correlated to the quality of the final product. All my life, I've been a practical and stoic person, but when it comes to my photography, I'm extremely emotional. And at the end of a rollercoaster week where I'm feeling fulfilled and grateful, I wouldn't have it any other way.